Hello, this is Iago Souto greeting you. Welcome to step number 2. If you're here, it's because you still need to improve a little more. Your pH, which with the molecules is still not enough because you need a little push. Remember that the pH is what will decide if your body dedicates resources to your healing or if the body is too busy working in balancing that pH. That's why if your pH, after taking the molecules for a week, is still not completely balanced, if I were in your place, what I would do is incorporate this second step, and now you will understand why. This second step is so important to achieve unlimited health in the shortest possible time. To explain to you why, this second step, which involves the most powerful breathing exercise known, producing the most potent effects not only to alkalize the body in the shortest time possible, but also for other benefits. I will explain it to you based on the computer screen. Well, here we have a manual, the public version of a manual for health professionals, but for explanation purposes, we will only need the general public version. As you can see, this part involves a brief introduction to what is the acid-base balance related to the body's processes to maintain the correct pH. Okay, if we scroll down a bit here and go to this part that says control of the acid-base balance, we're going to go directly here, which says the acid-base balance of the blood is precisely controlled because even a small deviation from normality severely affects many organs. That's what I mentioned in the previous video. Step 1, we need to have the perfect pH all the time. The body expends many resources, and it is the absolute priority to maintain the perfect pH. This means that if you don't have the perfect pH, you are at risk of having a chronic problem. And if you already have a chronic problem, it's likely because your pH is not perfect. That's why it's so important to balance the pH to achieve so that the body can use all other resources to recover and maintain perfect health. It says the body uses different mechanisms to regulate the acid-base balance of the blood. The lungs, kidneys, and pH stabilizing systems are involved in these mechanisms. For the purposes of this video, we will focus only on the lungs breathing exercise. Notice here it explains a bit more about how the lungs help regulate this pH and why they are ranked number 1. It's not a coincidence. It says, one of the mechanisms the body uses to regulate the blood pH involves the release of carbon dioxide by the lungs. Carbon dioxide, which is slightly acidic, is a waste product of the processing. That is, the metabolism of oxygen and nutrients that all cells need. And as such, cells produce it constantly, meaning all the time, all your cells. They are releasing carbon dioxide into the blood, which means your body is becoming acidic all the time. And that is dangerous. Then from the cells to the blood, it is transported to the lungs. Then it passes from the cells to the blood, which transports it to the lungs, from where you exhale it to eliminate it and balance. Thus the pH, as it accumulates, if you accumulate this carbon dioxide in the blood, your pH decreases, which makes you become acidic. And that's where the problem lies. Then it says the brain regulates the volume of carbon dioxide that is exhaled by controlling the speed and depth of breathing. This is very important because a baby, when breathing, first fills the belly and then the chest. But an adult, when breathing, no longer does this natural diaphragmatic breathing. We breathe very shallowly, and of course, if you inhale little, you exhale little. If your depth of exhalation is very small and your breathing is very shallow, you eliminate less acid from the body, or in other words, you accumulate more acid in the body. And that is one of the most determining factors for having a correct pH or an acidic pH. That's why you need to do conscious breathing exercises to help maintain a correct pH. And why are there people who might not need this step? Number 2, because there are people who naturally breathe better than others. Normally, people who have very shallow breathing are those who have had very high stress levels for many years in their lives. Because when we are stressed, a stressed person does not breathe like this. You don't breathe when you're stressed. When you're stressed, your breathing rate is shallow and fast. Very shallow, very fast. So, of course, you exhale little, alkalize little, and retain more acid in the body. And when you repeat this for years, when this breathing pattern is repeated for many years, you program your subconscious to automatically breathe in a shallow manner. And then you stay like that for the rest of your life, unless we consciously reprogram or reset to breathe like when we were babies. Because actually, when we are born, we breathe well. As we progress through life, we change the way we breathe. Unintentionally, programming in the subconscious a way of breathing that will cause us health problems. That's why we need to dedicate time to conscious breathing. Well, notice that it also says here, the volume of exhaled carbon dioxide and consequently the pH of the blood increases. That is, it becomes more alkaline when breathing is faster and deeper. By adjusting the speed and depth of breathing, the brain and lungs can regulate the blood pH minute by minute, meaning that in a matter of minutes, you can alkalize your pH. In a matter of minutes, more important than what you eat is how you breathe. Because eating will produce metabolism. That will release toxins in the body, carbon dioxide, that will acidify. So no matter how healthy you eat, if you don't exhale enough, if you don't breathe consciously, you will have an acidic pH and consequently health problems. So, having said this, what do we have to do to be able to recover or increase this pH in a very quick way, as I did here in a matter of minutes? The most powerful exercise, which has the most scientific evidence proving it can do this in less time and more effectively, is an exercise called the Wim Hof method. Maybe it sounds familiar to you, maybe it doesn't. Whether you know it or not, don't look for information. You can look it up, but don't focus on watching YouTube videos to do the exercise, because those videos are like a part of everything that is really behind it. In the next video that accompanies this PDF, I am going to share with you a video that has 3 ways to do the Wim Hof exercise for beginners, intermediates, and advanced. There are 3 examples. You only have to do one of the 3, depending on how you feel. Now, basic points on how to do this exercise. Before explaining the benefits, to you, basic points. First, fill the belly. And then the chest. And then you exhale. Where do I breathe from? Through the nose or the mouth? Whichever is more comfortable. There are people who do yoga who are used to inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Wim Hof, the creator of this method, does everything by mouth. So I do everything through the mouth, I copy the expert, but you can do it through the nose. You can do it however you like, or exhale through the nose as well. Point number 2, do not do it after eating. Always do it on an empty stomach. Point number 3, whenever you do it, you must be sitting or lying down. Point number 4, pregnant women are the only people, mind you, the only people who cannot do it. Point number 5, my advice, if you want to change your pH in the shortest possible time, what you need to do is in the morning and at night do the exercise. It can take you, if you are a beginner, between 7 and 10 minutes. It's not much time and it will have a very powerful effect on your health. And moreover, once you've done it a few times, you like the result so much that you'll want to do it more than twice a day. Another point, as this exercise has the benefit of resetting the nervous system by eliminating stress, anxiety, or depression. Not that it eliminates it forever, but if you notice that you have feelings of depression, stress, or anxiety, pause for a moment and do the 3 rounds of the exercise. If you do it like this, automatically when you finish the 3 rounds, that stress, that anxiety, or that depression, those emotions you feel related to this disappear immediately. So you can do it at any time of the day when you feel you need it due to your mood. Then what else? Benefits. Benefits of the exercise. Point number 1, you will oxygenate your cells in a supernatural way. Why is it supernatural? I have an object here. In case you don't know what this is, an oximeter measures the oxygen saturation in your blood and also your heart rate. At this moment, let's see if it measures me. It's still not measuring me. The normal oxygen saturation in blood should be between 95 and 100. And, well, a healthy heart rate is between 60 and 80 when you're at rest, more or less. Notice that my values are correct. I'm at 81, oxygen saturation 97, we're good. Okay, what happens when you do Wim Hof? Well, first, to make it clearer, I'm going to give an example of how it would be. You feel the belly, then the chest, raise the breath as high as you can, then exhale. You do this 30 times. And when you've done it the 30th time, you exhale the 30th. When you completely empty the lungs without oxygen, with nothing in the lungs, you hold your breath. How long? Well, if you're in beginner mode, the first round will be 30 seconds. But if you feel that you can hold for more than 30 seconds or less, you simply hold your breath as long as you can. Once you can no longer hold your breath, take a deep inhalation. And now with your lungs full, hold your breath again, count 15 seconds. Once the 15 seconds have passed, release all the air. Having done this, that is 30. I hold. I can't anymore, I inhale. I count 15, exhale, that represents 1 round. You have to do 3. If the breathing speed of the guides you're going to have as an example is too fast for your capacity at this moment, don't worry. Ideally, you should follow the speed I have in the video, but if you get too dizzy, don't worry. Do it at your own pace, do it at your own speed, do it slower. Do it as slowly as you need to be able to complete the 3 rounds. The slower, the easier it is. Ideally, you should do it at the speed. You see what it says here. The faster and deeper, the quicker we balance the pH. But don't worry about the speed. The important thing is that you do it, however it may be, at whatever speed, but that you do it. Okay. So, when we do this and hold our breath without oxygen in the lungs, we have exhaled all the carbon dioxide. In that process of holding, you are raising the pH of your body because you have expelled all the acid. So your body, as you keep holding, becomes more alkaline. In the same process of your body becoming alkaline, the oxygen that is in your blood leaves your blood and enters the cells. Why? Because you are not breathing, there is no oxygen in the lungs, and since we have oxygen in the blood and the cells are where we need it, we are going to push all that oxygen into the cells. It is for that reason that the oxygen saturation in the blood can drop to levels where medicine would tell you that you would be dead. For example, 70, 60, 50% oxygen saturation in the blood, 40, 30. I have managed to lower it to less than 30, where the little device doesn't even register. It shows dashes because it's assumed you're dead. When you have less than 30% oxygen saturation, you're no longer in this world. But it can be achieved, and the effect is positive and not at all dangerous. Because in reality, you are putting all the oxygen inside the cells. So this alkalizes the blood, alkalizes the body, oxygenates, which helps remove toxins, eliminates body inflammation, resets the nervous system, and all these are spectacular benefits for your body. Another benefit is that you regulate your genetic expression, and this exercise is so powerful that the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 2019 is related to the benefits of controlled hypoxia, and this exercise simulates that controlled hypoxia, which can be generated with machines by going to high altitudes, 2,000 and 3,000 meters above sea level. And, well, that's it, right? It has spectacular benefits, even demonstrated through a Nobel Prize in medicine. So, do you know how to do it now? The process to follow along with the video is in the next video. You know the benefits it has. You can do a test to measure yourself. Measure your pH before doing the exercise. Saliva. Do the exercise, measure your pH right after finishing. And you will be able to realize that it is incredibly powerful, okay? And that thanks to this exercise, you will manage to raise your pH in a matter of minutes. And it is vital, absolutely vital, that you do this exercise regularly every day, especially if your pH is not correct. Because by doing very deep exhalations, we literally expel the acid from the body. This exercise is essential for your health every day. So, well, that's all from my side. If after a week of doing this exercise, combined with the molecules, your pH is still not where it should be, as per the instructions in the PDF of step 1, if it is still not where it should be, that means you are making too much of a mess with what you eat and drink, and you need to look at the next step, step number 3, to correct a bit of the mess you're making with food. Because with what you eat, you are acidifying your body so much that we can't keep up with the molecules and the breathing exercise to remove all the acid you generate from your eating habits. So we need to help the body a little to be able to eat a bit better, so that we can have the correct pH, so that your body can regain unlimited health. See you in the next video in step 3 if you need it. And if with this, you already have the perfect pH, stick with the molecules and the breathing, keep eating as you are, and with the assurance that if your pH is as it should be, your body will achieve spectacular health. See you in the next video.